Well, things continue to deteriorate in Myanmar. The conditions for everyone in terms of security, in terms of safety, in terms of healthcare, in just about any and every way that you can imagine and measure, things are deteriorating in Myanmar. We have over 900 people now reported killed. Over 6,000 have been detained. We have a COVID situation that is showing signs of spreading and spreading very, very quickly. There is continued to be attacks by the junta-directed military on healthcare facilities, on healthcare professionals. 240 such attacks recorded as of last week. So it is a horrific situation. Those who are trying to get the truth out are being attacked and persecuted. We have 93 journalists have been arrested, and their crime is doing their job. So it is a very difficult situation. But people on the ground, people in Myanmar, are demonstrating extraordinary courage and tenacity and commitment to overthrow this illegal military junta and guarantee for their children and their grandchildren that they will not have to live under the yoke of this horrible military regime. The international community is failing the people of Myanmar. There have been resolutions, there have been expressions of concern and deep concern, resolutions of condemnation of some of the activities of the junta. But as welcome as these words are, the people of Myanmar need action. They need the world to act. There is a United Nations humanitarian fund, for example, and only 23% of that fund is filled. The international community is failing to even make its commitments, come through with its commitments for humanitarian assistance to the people of Myanmar, and they're very desperate. What's also incredibly important is that the international community act. Now, there are some countries of the world that simply do not want to act. And we know that resolutions that have come before the UN Security Council, for example, can only go so far because some members of the Security Council are reluctant to take action, that is to pressure the junta of Myanmar. But there are many nations who are willing to take action. What has got to happen is that they should not be prohibited from acting because of the few countries that are unwilling to do so. That's why I'm calling for a coalition of those who are prepared to act. And I'm talking about cutting off the revenue of the junta that it needs to continue its reign of terror. I'm talking about cutting its source of weapons and dual-use technology. I'm talking about working together to increase significantly humanitarian aid going into the people of Myanmar, not through the illegal junta, but directly to the people of Myanmar. A coordinated effort to make sure that the propaganda ploys of this regime, the deception and the deceit that it is sowing with its statements, that they are not allowed to take hold and fester. For example, their claims that they are being recognized by the United Nations is preposterous. Their claim that they believe in the 5-point consensus that was established at ASEAN, at the ASEAN summit, but nonetheless refute them and toss them aside as mere suggestions. This is a regime that needs to be confronted in a way that will actually have an impact. And as long as this junta has the revenue and the weapons to continue its reign of terror, it will do so. The junta prides itself. It talks about how large and powerful its military is. And in fact, it has a very large military. Some estimates project 400,000 troops. That's quite significant. But the fact of the matter is that it takes money, revenue, to supply those troops, to equip those troops. And if we can cut the revenue that is flowing into this junta from international sources, then we can take away its capacity to continue its reign of terror on the people of Myanmar.